Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we're going to tell you what it's really like in Myrtle Beach in the month of June. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We are so glad to have you with us. We are taking a walk down the beautiful beach here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, while we give you all the info you need to know about what it's like to come here in the month of June, or in our case, what it's like to live here in the month of June. There's the beautiful skywheel. The boardwalk is right next to us. We always get questions about where we're starting. So this is right around 10th Avenue North, give or take, is about where we're starting today. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. It is about 10 a.m. So if you're asking where the crowds are, it's early beach time. Most people come out more around 11 o'clock onto the beach. They're probably out getting pancakes right now. So June is actually a great month here in Myrtle Beach. There's one exception to that, and I will talk about that. But the crowds, if you have to come in the summer, if you have a schedule where you must come in the summer, or you just want to come in the summer, June is probably your best month. There's less of a chance of hurricanes, although hurricane season does start in June. And there's also typically a little bit lower crowds than July and early August. Late August, it does start dropping off quite a bit crowd-wise, but then you have a much higher chance of hurricanes. So in my opinion, out of the summer months, I would say June is probably your best bet for a really good vacation. There's no guarantee of good weather, and we'll go over the weather, but it's usually pretty decent. And all of the things that you want open are open. You don't have to worry about anything being closed for the off season, even though we don't have a huge off season here anymore. But you don't have to worry at all about that. There is tons of stuff to do. Everything, it has extended hours too. There's usually shorter hours in the off season in June. Everything's going to be open the full amount of time. So lots and lots of stuff to do. Now I will say, now that I've said that, other than July and maybe early August and also Memorial Day weekend, June is probably the next most crowded time of the year to come as far as people coming for vacation. As schools start to end, people rush to the beach. I know not everyone's on a traditional schedule anymore, but a lot of people are. Or they just have that nostalgia and that feeling, I want to go to the beach in the summer. We actually biked this morning on Ocean Boulevard on our way here, and we actually saw several no vacancy signs. So it's a very busy time of the year here. So tips to avoid crowds while you're here is, we always say this, but early, go early. If you want to do an attraction, go early. Be like the first person there. Like the aquarium opens at 9, gets packed, go early, be there right when they open. By 10, it's going to be packed. And that applies to everything. That's just one example. Same with restaurants. If you can go to lunch instead of dinner, go to lunch. If you're going to go to dinner, because that's when you'd rather go out, totally get it. But look for early bird specials, save a little money. And also you get to get there early before the crowds. Also, be sure you make reservations this time of the year if you can. Not all restaurants take them, but if they do, definitely make a reservation, and that'll help you avoid crowds as well. The evening, like I said, most people come out around 11. The roads start getting crowded around 11, but by evening they're packed. That's when they are the busiest, and also in the summer, they close down one lane of Ocean Boulevard for emergency vehicles. So you can only go southbound, you cannot go northbound. And that's from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. So if you're here during the week, you don't have to worry about that. But if you are here on a weekend, that's definitely going to affect your stay. If you're staying here on Ocean Boulevard, or if you want to come down here to visit the boardwalk area, which again, we're still parallel to the boardwalk area right now. One thing I want to mention is there is an entertainment shuttle here that runs from the day after Memorial Day through Labor Day. It is free, and it goes down Ocean Boulevard, but it also goes to all the major, well, I don't know if I could say all, but really almost all the major attractions here in Myrtle Beach, like Broadway, at the beach, and Waves Water Park, the Pelican Stadium. It stops at all kinds of cool things to do. So if you don't want to drive, that's an option. We have a video of that. If you want to find any video on our channel, just go to YouTube, search for Carmen and Brian Myrtle Beach, and then put in what you're looking for. So in that case, it would be entertainment shuttle, and that will come right up, and you can check that out. We actually wrote it for you and showed you exactly what it was like. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That really helps other people find our videos, so we greatly appreciate that. It really does help us out. So let's talk weather. That's always at the top of people's minds. The average daily high in June is 85, and it's really typically humid. Some days it's not, but most days it's going to be pretty sticky. The average daily low is 69. There's usually a brief afternoon thunderstorm, but not always, but it's common for this time of the year. The ocean water is warm enough for swimming, so you can jump on in this ocean. The average water temperature is 76 degrees to 80 degrees. Also, June kicks off hurricane season, as I mentioned, and that runs through November. While you're visiting in June, be sure to check out these June events if you are interested in them. There's a few in June. The first and biggest one is the Carolina Country Music Festival. That's when I mentioned there's one weekend I would not recommend coming, and that would be the weekend, unless you're here for the Country Music Festival. It brings thousands of people to the area, and the whole boardwalk area is packed with people. There's nowhere to park, so I don't recommend coming that weekend, like I said, unless you're coming for the festival. It is historically the first full weekend in June, and this year it is June 5th through the 8th with headliners Jelly Roll, Kid Rock, Lainey Wilson, and the Rascal Flatts. And there's tons of other acts as well. That's just the headliners that I listed off there. I can't express to you how big this festival is. It's massive. We do have a video showing some of it last year, so you can just search for the Carolina Country Music Festival. Again, search for Carmen and Brian Myrtle Beach Carolina Country Music Festival on YouTube, and that should pop up for you. And so definitely check that out, and that will give you an idea. We showed people lined up hours and hours before the show starts. And then next is Corvettes at the Beach event. That is also June 6th and 7th, but the main event is on the 7th at Broadway at the beach. The next one is Musica, the Grand Strand Music Festival. It's actually the entire month of June at multiple venues, and it has fully staged operas, musical theater, chorales, orchestras, and more, and also some Broadway favorites. So if you're into music, I would definitely look that up and check out their website. Again, it's called Musica. It's Muzika with an exclamation point here at Myrtle Beach. Next is one of our favorites. We go pretty much every year, the Conway River Fest. That is June 28th, and it's the city of Conway's kickoff for the 4th of July. So there's all kinds of 4th of July festivities, and that is almost always the last weekend in June. And that is a really cool thing to do. Conway's a cute little town that is just west of Myrtle Beach. They have a really, really cute downtown area, and that's the general area where this festival. They also have a river walk that's really beautiful, so we definitely recommend checking that out. Like I said, it's a favorite of ours. They're going to have live entertainment, golf cart parade, artisan market, and this year they're adding a raft race on the river, so that will be pretty interesting. And then they have fun for kids, like, you know, those jump houses and games and other festivities for kids. So again, that's something really cool to check out event-wise. The next thing we want to talk about, because it could affect your vacation, is if you see, I know it's in the distance right now, but you see those cranes and that, whatever, it looks like a pier, but it's not, that goes out. That is the Ocean Outfall project. That is going to be going on for a long time. The city of Myrtle Beach is converting the storm drains. They used to just sort of drain out right here on the beach, and they're kind of gross. That's because that's street water, it's storm drain water. That is actually going to go way out into the ocean. The reason I want to mention to you is they do have a tiny bit of the beach closed, but more importantly, when they are doing their thing, it is loud. They don't do it at night, but if you're staying in one of the hotels next to it, you're going to have some noise. So like if you're trying to sit on your balcony and have a good time during the day, that kind of thing, it's pretty noisy. And so that's something to keep in mind. I know I told you we would tell you, you know, kind of where we're at. We are actually at the very north end of the boardwalk. There's the tin roof, and this is called the Boulevard, this building right there, and there's a Starbucks. You can see we're just past the skywheel, so you can kind of tell it's on the north end right now. But definitely keep that in mind when you are booking your resort for this summer, because that, like I said, that's going to be going on for a long time. We brought you down to the actual Ocean Outfall project to show you exactly where it is and what hotels are right next to it. So we're on Ocean Boulevard now. So it's at 24th Avenue North. So that shows you a picture of it, but here is the actual project right here. So this is where the beach is closed. and also where, like I said, occasionally, right now it's quiet, but occasionally you're going to definitely hear some loud noise. So it's surrounded by Dayton House on both sides. These are both Dayton House buildings. So if you want to see what other hotels are nearby, just pull up Google Maps, search for Dayton House, or search for that location that I mentioned, the 24th Avenue North. And then that will tell you, this is also Dayton House across the street. That will tell you what is in this general vicinity. So you can see now that we've gotten close to these bigger hotels, even though it's still early in the morning, right around 10 a.m., it's already starting to get busier. You've got the rental umbrellas. By the way, if you want to rent an umbrella, they have changed it this year. Thanks to whoever left the comment. I just saw it in the news right after you mentioned it. You used to talk to the lifeguard, but instead you go to that tent back there. There's a man standing in front of it right now, but that red tent, there's a woman sitting there. It says for rent. You go to that person. You no longer go to the lifeguard, and they will help you with renting the chairs. That is a great change because it used to distract the lifeguards from doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is keeping people safe when they're out swimming in the ocean. So that's a really great change there. If you'd like to learn more about Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.